that's what I feel like it means to be us in a place where we were never meant to be great in the United States. We never were. That was never the plan. The podcast starts with Diddy.
We're getting back to Diddy. No Diddy. You know what I mean?
Never in a million years. But I think no Diddy would be a real thing.
It's like a meme coin. It's like one of those things you just don't see coming. You know what I mean? I don't like how swiftly it was able to like infiltrate the culture and literally dethrone the homo, which I wish was actually dethroned so much earlier. Sure. Because I have my own issues with that in general.
Of course.
It just infiltrated so quickly and so easily. And I think we have now put ourselves in a position where we not only have to contend with what we know to be true, which is this assault on Cassie, but also these alleged incidents across a large time span,
right,
which are going to possibly lead us to losing someone,
right,
who has been a very integral fixture to the culture, both musically and just literally culturally. I mean, you're talking Sean John, you're talking even his time before he became Diddy, his legend as an A&R, is something that people imitated in terms of what we think of when we think of grind culture in America. But you think of Diddy.
I can get rid of Sean John.
Mm-hmm.
I can go, all right, he was so significant and this, that, the other. But I, even as a hip hop head, I tend to forget how much music Diddy put out the world,
mm-hmm.
and how influential, how many bangers he has, which I think brings the question, where are we going to land as, especially culture, in the culture, where are we going to land with Diddy? Because that's where I am currently right now. Even with everything that's going on, I right now feel like, I can't listen to a Diddy song if it's just Diddy. Like, I can't listen to Bad Boy for Life right now. I put on doom, 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 doom. I'm like, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But More Money, More Problems comes on, and I'm like, there's a little bit of a pat. He's only a third of this situation. You know what I'm saying? And in my mind, I end up making almost a pass for it. Or like, what do we do with Mace? You know what I'm saying? Cameron.
I mean, just like, cause then also, so there's a book I love. I love this book. It's called Monster, A Fan's Dilemma by Claire Dieter. And she talks about how the American culture and just culture in general got to a point where it's like, because we have so much access to the artists,
sure,
we now have a larger attachment to the artist's decisions, because we derive some of our own self-meaning through our fandom.
100%.
So basically, like, for instance, the reason that the Beehive exists is because a part of my actual identity, my social identity, is tied to Beyonce's success and accumulation of power, and accumulation of wealth, and accumulation of culture.
Yeah.
Right. And now we have to make these choices, because it's also because Diddy, I'm saying, if he was, right, because Diddy occupies this space for me.
Sure.
Where I am like a Diddyite, right? Or like a disciple of Brother Love.
Right.
Was who he was right before this.
Not too long.
Talk about seeing the writing on the wall.
Sure.
And trying to get in front of something.
Right.
But like, if I am attached to that, if I do not condemn that, then that means there is therefore something wrong with me, because I support it. We already know that there's also something wrong with me anyway, because we have so many uncles.
Sure.
That's, so many uncles, so many aunties, so many babysitters, etc., who have been exhibiting similar behaviors that we haven't called out.
Right.
And so we must take a stance here. What does that stance look like? You know what I mean? When you're talking about somebody who was such a integral part of the culture for so long, what do you do with that?
And not just on the sidelines. There were blocks.
Oh yeah.
Of things. Even having a show called Making the Band, knowing reality, in reality, it was my influence. I am so influential now that I can take this group of people and make them household names.
Wild.
And now we are here. But I think the question is, where does that leave us? Like, what do we do with it? And man, I think there is enough creativity. I think there is enough history in hip hop that I can set Diddy aside, especially as an MC, and be okay. I can't.
Yeah, I could set him aside as an MC, definitely. I think the Diddy adjacent things.
Yeah.
Like you said, My Money, No Problems.
Just be.
I mean, so that's tough. I think also, though, what does that do to, because he's also involved politically.
That's right.
You know what I mean? He's also involved politically. He was involved with voting. He was trying to be involved. He had some schools, et cetera, which is almost like a la Bill Cosby.
Sure.
This idea that the black entertainer that decides to play in that is somehow always doomed. Because you even have the alleged case against Jay-Z that comes, and it seemed like everybody was begging for,
and everybody was begging for it. But how Jigga handled that?
Listen,
was on some.
Let me tell you what I want to say about that.
Yeah.
Because the machine didn't work properly. I'm gonna throw a wrench in a. We were heading in the direction, but I'm about to throw a pivot.
Let's go.
Because it didn't work as it was supposed to. There are two things that didn't work as it was supposed to. Kendrick wasn't supposed to win.
Right.
All right. But then on top of that, Hove beats what it seemed like the culture wanted. Because that didn't work out, we immediately turned our attention to hating on the life choices of Travis Hunter. Because that didn't work out, we started meddling in the relationship. This happened at the same time.
Okay, yeah.
We'll all be looking at the Jay-Z.
Sure.
Jay-Z came out swiftly.
Right.
You know what I mean? Decisive. Right. And as someone who has, that's a cultural moment. We really need to talk about it, because this is almost the first time that the accumulation of power actually worked for a black man.
Right. And we didn't really talk about it.
Because that wasn't the plan. It was all the pieces were set
for
his fall.
But the way he shut it down, why do you think his shutting down worked so well?
I mean, I don't want to. Sometimes what is it? Never contribute to conspiracy. What can be easily explained with ignorance. He literally just took his time. He utilized his resources. They conspired together, created a statement. Just like every other powerful man that beats anything does.
But there was something about his statement that had a little bit of street in it.
Yeah, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
He did. It was street, it was power, and it was culture. He did something. So my friend calls me right after his message comes out and he basically says, do you think he did? Right. And I was like, well, it doesn't matter because where we are right now. Well, it does matter, right? Obviously, but I'm saying because of where we are right now, everybody wants his downfall. I said, but can you imagine living in a world where a black man can say, I'm from Marcy Projects and we don't play like that?
Yeah.
Is to snatch back. It's almost like what I was saying offline when we're talking about like what does the people who go and take woke back, what do they look like?
Right.
Because we know the realities of living in Marcy, just like we know the realities of living in any hood. Like these are some, for all intents and purposes, diabolical people who know that the dream is a lie, and so we can do the same things that they do, but we just get in trouble for it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna break the rules, and we're gonna deal with the fact that we get in trouble with it. And there are all kinds of other things. We're selling drugs to our people, et cetera, et cetera. But to dream of a world where a black man can say, I'm from New Orleans, I'm from the Ninth Ward of New Orleans.
Yeah.
And we don't touch kids.
Right. And you were like, okay.
So that is, I was like, wouldn't it, I understand why you called me, because we're supposed to commiserate about this supposed downfall of the next person, because he took pictures with the other guy, which makes him, obviously they're best friends, right? Based on our perspective. But would it not be wonderful to live in a world where you would hear that statement and make it to be true?
Right.
No, we don't do that where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also an allusion to a beautiful time where there were men of honor like that in the show.
Yeah, 100%. I also love the fact that he doubled down and said, if you're going to come after me for real. Like, don't play around and act like you're just coming after some money.
What he said, why not do I forgot which case.
Yeah.
He was like, why not make it that case?
Why not make it this way to where you bring everybody to come against me? Therefore, it forces you to dig through everything I have to prove your point, which you will find nothing.
That is, listen, that is, come on now. So I was like, of course we turned to Travis Hunter. Because we would have let that, we've let that go before. Assuming she is what they are trying to say, air quotes for listeners.
Right.
We've seen that story before.
Right.
That's the air quotes again, supposed reason that we're even talking to them in the first place.
Yeah.
So we've let this happen before. But it was a concerted effort.